Hello you beautiful people, I hope you all are having an amazing, beautiful day, and in this video we're gonna talk about a build forged by a guardian called the Onion Knight. First things first, Onion Knight is kind of a legend. The only difference between him and Zavala is that he isn't blue, that's about it. I spotted Saladin asking for permission to enter the tower and start his Iron Banner event. Onion was like, man, you've been bringing the same goods for years now, there is no way. And then Shax had to jump in because he's Onion's really close friend. If I remember correctly, Onion's grandfather and Shax's grandfather used to whoop some alien ass together. Anyway, the point is the build is no joke, okay? I know none of this makes any sense, but now let's check out the build. Do you see these amazing triple hundreds right here? Man, this looks beautiful. Just look at this exotic. This one is really good. The Titan's Rampart with the exotic perk Assault Barricade. You and your allies can shoot through your towering barricade, which has reduced health and duration. Okay, before we dive into this build, I'll try to quickly explain what are the main things you need to achieve these stats. For those that have watched my Hunter triple 100 stat video, you already know what I'm gonna talk about, so you can skip to the time shown on the screen. I will drop the link to the Hunter build video in the description in case some Hunter mains would like to check it out. Let's start. There's one main thing you need to make this work, and it's called the Powerful Friends mod that you could get from the Season of Dawn. It grants you plus 20 mobility once it is used on a arc armor piece. In order to activate the plus 20 mobility effect, you need to equip another arc mod on the same piece of armor. It can be any kind of mod as long as it is arc. Remember, you can't use seasonal mods on exotics, so this gives you 80 mobility in total, which means you now have the freedom to focus on armor pieces that have the stats you want as high as possible. Pretty much mobility is the stat that you will get to 100 without any issues. So if you want max discipline and intellect, for example, that's the two stats you focus on the armor pieces you get. However, one thing I will mention is please remember, you do not need god rolls to achieve these stats. You can get them with the gear that is like 54 as it drops, as long as you get the right rolls. And getting armor pieces with a 54 roll is very common and possible from anywhere in the game. Crucible, strikes, anywhere. So there's no need to only focus on 64 plus armor pieces and delete everything else. Of course, pinnacle activities will drop higher ranked gear, and if you get them with the two stats you want, that's the best case scenario, but if not, no worries, you can get the triple stats with anything around 54. Another way to get these armor pieces is if you have saved up a good amount of Crucible or Vanguard tokens, you can turn some of them in with Shax or Zavala and hopefully get the stats you need. World drops are also a great source of high ranked armor pieces, so pay attention and don't just delete everything right away. Even if the armor has some really high stats, but it's not the ones you need right now, keep it. You never know how things change next season and what new mods will be introduced. Also, make sure to get as many mods as possible with every season because some of them are really cool and you don't want to miss out on them in case there is some really cool combination with the new mods from the future seasons. Remember, you also have normal mods that give you another 50 stat you can move around, and as you masterwork all of your armor pieces, including the exotic, you will get a plus 10 on all stats. It's really not as hard as people think it is, and it's absolutely possible. Yes, it takes time and effort and a lot of counting the stats, but it is not undoable, and as you can see, both of us managed to get triple hundreds. Now, the interesting stuff, ladies and gents. Let's talk about how Onion utilizes this build and what makes it so strong. As you can see, he has max resilience to get his class ability, the barricade, back every 14 seconds. Max discipline for some deadly pulse grenades that are perfect for preventing reses in trials, and max mobility, you know, just to be that extra annoying as a Titan. I mean, a fast Titan is a scary Titan. Now, he has said that having more recovery in the future is the goal. However, that will be up to some good old RNG, and since he plays with me, that won't be an issue because, you know, my RNG is on a completely different level and I can give out some RNG buffs Anyway, the super he uses is the coat of the missile middle arc tree. Thunder Crash, hurl through the air like a missile and crash into enemies to inflict meteoric damage. That not only sounds really scary, but it is really deadly. The super is amazing both for shutting down other supers and for some aggressive play, which makes it very good for trials. The melee ability, Ballistic Slam, is an absolute beast. After sprinting, leap into the air and press the melee button to slam into the ground and damage nearby enemies. Keep in mind though, it really takes time to master this and use this in a very effective way. Then we have Impact Conversion, hitting enemies with Ballistic Slam grants super energy and activates Inertia Override, which is next on the list. Picking up ammo during a slide reloads your equipped weapon and increases weapon damage for a short time. This right here can also be very strong if used correctly. So with this current stat setup, he can use the barricade every 14 seconds and it lasts for 10 seconds. And having a barricade you can shoot through for 10 seconds in trials is amazing. Yes, it can sometimes get melted by special ammo, but the cooldown is like 14 seconds, who cares? And if they want to spend special ammo on a barricade, I'm fine with that. Okay, well, there is one problem called Revoker. Shots from this sniper destroy the barricade and still count as a miss, and you get your bullet back, which is weird, but let's just get back to the build. Now, the melee itself is extremely strong in many ways. Here, for example, the enemy player is rushing to revive both of his teammates. However, he only gets one res thanks to Onion Knight's supernatural skills and Ballistic Slam. He manages to cover the distance so quick that he gets there in time and absolutely destroys the guy. Not to mention the fact that once you fly in with this melee ability, you get a damage buff for 4 seconds and it reloads your equipped weapon. It's amazing to push people that are low, or as you saw right here, even people with full HP if you do it right. Then we have Max Discipline, which gives us these beautiful pulse grenades. They are good for preventing people from pushing you, or as I already mentioned, for preventing reses. Of course, you have another very strong option, and that would be the lightning grenades. Another thing I've seen him do is if they are pushing towards the barricade, he throws a nade on the barricade. If they touch the shield, they take a lot of damage and the grenade just kills them. Now, I don't know why people push into barricades. Maybe they're like, I've had enough of this, and they get frustrated, but they do and they die, so it's perfect. Please keep doing it. Now, another thing definitely worth mentioning is because the stats are so high and the cooldowns are so low, this build gives you the ability to play both very defensive as a sniper, for example, or very aggressive with a fusion or a shotgun. You can jump high up, use your Ballistic Slam. If you hit him, you get the increased damage buff and melt them with your weapon. If you miss, you throw down the barricade and you instantly have a safe zone. You can't get hit for a few extra seconds and you can still do damage. It really catches people off guard. Trust me, I've seen it firsthand. Does it take time to master all that I talked about above? Yes, 100%. Will you fail as you are perfecting all of the above? Yes, but failure is just a lesson and a step to perfection, ladies and gents. If you put in the time to master this subclass and also manage to get these stats, trust me, you're gonna see a huge difference in your performance. But the question is all of this really worth the time and effort? And in my opinion, absolutely. If you play a lot of D2, this is the ultimate endgame, right? Maxing your stats and getting them as high as possible should be part of the plan. The one thing I'd change on this build would be mobility for recovery, because I feel like recovery is very strong. Imagine having max recovery in combination with your barricade every 14 seconds. You're hurt, you drop your barricade, and even if they are pushing you, that 100 recovery is gonna kick in really quick and you'll be back in the fight with full HP super fast. And your enemies don't expect that most of the time and get caught off guard. Okay, we went over how he utilizes his abilities and exotic armor piece in combination with these stats. Now let's take a look at the weapons that synergize really well with all of this. The main setup is Revoker in the kinetic slot. I don't think this needs a lot of explanation. It's simply amazing currently. The exotic armor piece gives you a perfect opportunity to get some very safe sniper sniper picks at the beginning of every round, and we all know how important that can be in trials. In the energy slot, we have the Traveler's Judgment sidearm with rapid hit and tap the trigger, and also with some good range. And then the heavy slot goes to Wardcliff most of the time. So as I mentioned previously, not only can he play really defensive with the sniper and 14-second barricade, but also rush in with the ballistic slam, and then you have the sidearm that absolutely shreds people. And remember, when you fly in with the ballistic slam, you get a damage buff, and a sidearm with a damage buff is straight up disgusting. And the other build that he uses against like aggressive teams is a fusion in the middle slot and an auto rifle in the kinetic, something like Suros maybe. Another great combination would be Beloved, which is an amazing sniper in the energy slot combined with a kinetic sidearm, maybe even Thorn, or once again Suros. But most of the time it's the Revoker and the Traveler's Judgment. The point is, this setup helps you play in any kind of style you want, and it's so much fun too. Like, who doesn't want to fly around like Superman and destroy other supers? There you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next on the list is gonna be my triple stat video for the Warlock. I am very close to getting it ready. Very close, you beautiful people. So if you enjoyed this video and are enjoying the content on the channel in general, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help me out and is very appreciated. Oh, and don't forget the bell button to get notified when new videos are up on the channel. Thank you guys once again for all the amazing support. You guys have no idea how much it means to me. I truly appreciate every single one of you. And as always, have a crazy beautiful day.